Hey VC, it's John back again, Bipbopboom. It's been a while. Let's see, what was I going to talk about? I met up with some VC members this week. I just want to give a shout out to them. So I never met any VC members. So I met Rob from Boston, Panique's 1960. I met Bill, Helmet Diggy, and Andy Cloudy Milder, and we went to a couple shops in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But that was a great time, and cheers to those guys, super swell guys, and that's it. Maybe they'll give an update or whatever, show what they got. I'm a little behind, and not to get into this because I've been too busy, this and that, but I just noticed the VC, just so many videos coming out now, and I feel like, not that I like video games, so I don't want to give a video game analogy, but I'm thinking like that game Missile Command, where the lines come down and blow up your city, and now, I'm at the point, I'm just so busy, all these lines are coming down, and I just can't keep up with everything, so if I don't respond, or sometimes I watch a video, I don't respond, I don't know if it's rude or not, but I'm not blowing anyone off. I'm just busy. And so what was I going to do? Okay. In the background, we're listening to Madhouse, which I'll get into in a moment. What did I want to say? I don't know. I didn't really plan too much. All right, let's start off. Aaron had sent me this VCLT in one of the last videos I did, and I didn't get to review it because I didn't quite know what it is. But we're listening to Madhouse, if you can hear it in the background, and it's his first Damage, and I'm not sure what year he put this out. 2002 he put this out. It's from, I believe, 1988, German metal band, but there's a lot of punk influence in, at least to my ears. In his vocal phrasings has almost a California punkish way he phrases it. I mean, he still sounds like a German metal dude, but it's great. It's really 1988 sound where you got I don't want to say crossover because it's not a hardcore punk band going metal. It's a punk band, a metal band going punk. So it's a metal band with punk influences, I'm saying, or I don't even know if it's intentional because they definitely a metal band, but it's not punk, but it's metal. But I didn't even realize it to my ears. But Aaron, and if you read it, there's keyboards on this album. One of the I don't know if it's a guitar, but it sounds like a heavy guitar or a heavy bass through distortion, and I wouldn't even noticed it, I don't think. But you can hear it on some tracks, especially on side 2. It's a little more obvious, but it's a great album, and it's great for people who like obscure stuff, because I would have never heard this, and really cool to have. And I know Aaron's got copies, so I don't know, you might want to check it out on Discogs or see what he's selling them for, but it's only out at 300, so it's worth it for metal collectors. But there's the inner and the liner notes, and it's got the lyrics, which may be just a reprint of maybe the demo lyrics from '88, because it's got that old-fashioned computer font, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I think the next track's really good, if I remember. Weakness of Mind. I think this one's got a good riff in there, a little mid-tempo. And it's on Beer and Jesus Records, BJ01, and I'm not sure if he did any. I know Aaron did a lot of cassettes, so this may be his only record, so there's another reason to get it. But I'm going to talk about, that's another thing about the VC. To me, I feel like there's so many people showing so many records, so I don't have a lot to offer besides showing the same records again, the same old records, same new releases. So I'm going to try to just bring up things that maybe are not being discussed, or a different take on it, or maybe I'll just go a little more in depth. But yeah, this is good, man. He's almost got a punk phrasing. But I don't know if it's coming through, but it's still straight, it's still metal. German band, if I didn't say that. But not new wave of British heavy metal. I think the rest of the stack might be new wave of British heavy metal, but this fits right in. This is Kraken, Canadian band, and I only picked this up. I mean, I heard of the band, but I only picked this up because Greeno had showed this a while ago, and I'm so glad I did. Kraken, Abandoned, and what they were is a Canadian band. This was recorded in '83. I think it was demo tapes that were back when we were passing around demo tapes. I was a little before my time, '83, with demo tapes, but maybe not. Yeah, probably around '85 was doing demo tapes, but I was saying it was released on LP. I don't know if it was a boot or legit, like in the late '80s or mid '80s, but now it's out. High Roller put it out, and it's fairly new, so if it's still available, I would highly recommend this. Trio from, I believe, Toronto, or at least it was recorded in Toronto, and it was produced by Lips from Anvil, and it's got a great collage, so it feels like a real record. I mean, it feels like a mid-'80s record with the collage, but the cover looks so much like a NWOBHM 45 or just an indie 45. But there's some pictures of Lips in here with the band. But this is a killer record. It's like, it reminds, I mean, it's just good classic metal, especially like '83 metal. Really good, well-crafted songs, but it reminds me of a intelligent and classy Anvil, and a little bit of a, he sounds a little bit like Lips singing some of the phrasing and some of the parts, but it's not dumb. And a little bit of a Bobby Ellsworth from early Overkill in there, but it's got a classiness like a Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules a little bit, but it's absolutely a killer record. Killer. I'm glad I have it, and it's like one of these one and done, everything they put out, so I'm finished with them, and it's great. You know, I'll drop on just while I'm chatting, because maybe am I going to need to drop other things? I don't know. And I'll show. And this is the Beer and Jesus label. And it's Madhouse, and it's on this cool silver, I don't know, speckle, whatever you want to call that. And this is Kraken. And we'll listen to Burn Witch Burn. Let's see what else I'll show while I'm doing that. A lot of people showed it, but I need to show it just so I'm on record showing it. I picked up the Def Leppard EP, and it's absolutely fantastic. The Record Store Day thing, I got it online because I was late to the game. Made in Germany. And I can't tell you how fantastic this is. I've never heard this before. I mean, I knew Get Your Rocks Off. But the other two songs, I never heard the Overture. I don't believe I ever heard Ride Into the Sun. And the sound on this, the mastering, whatever they cleaned up, I don't know how the original EP sounds, but this is one of the best new wave of British heavy metal sounding records I have as far as the sonics. It is so good, and this record just kicks ass. It's just total NWOBHM metal. It's got a little almost proggy in there and a little Thin Lizzy. And it looks great. Like they just blew up the actual 45. And I always feel sorry for Frank Noon, who just kind of was on this and then out of the band. And it's got the original insert the 45 came with. It was always on my list. I was always wanted to get that repro that came out in the late 80s, but it's always like $25 or something. And I'm like, do I really need to spend that on Def Leppard when there's so much other stuff to have? But the only thing I gotta criticize this, and maybe it sounds so good because it's at 45 speed, 12-inch, but Record Store Day charged like full price. I would almost rather if they did the the 45, repro just the 45. Maybe it wouldn't have sounded as good, so maybe I'm happy this way. But like to turn it into a 12-inch for 3 songs when it was originally 45 and in charge an LP, would have been better to just like $8.99 and have a nice repro of the 45. But I guess they get more money by just making it bigger. But either way, unbelievable, mandatory if you don't have that and you're into the old metal. This is a great record. This Kraken. And let's see, something not exciting. I just picked up the Goldsmith from High Roller, Holy Roller, and great new album. I mean, not the greatest band in the world, but Life Is Killing Me is a fantastic track. I mean, that's probably been comped, I think. There's a couple other good ones. Not 100% great record, but Life Is Killing Me, absolutely great tune. That was their, I think their only 45, if I remember right. And really cool band, just like good new wave of British heavy metal working band. You know, jeans and sneakers, and they just look good. They look like good guys. Like they're not overdoing it. I think the bass player is a little sore because the singer wore the same shirt as him. So I don't know if it was planned because the other guys aren't matching. And of course, a nice package with the whole story. And there they are again. And if you look, I think they have the same. They got different striped shirts, sleeveless ones. It's not the same from the cover. The bass player's got one, and the singer. So maybe it was like their thing. 2 of the members are gonna wear striped shirts. But I had this on CD. This came out in the '90s, some point. I forget what label put it out. I had it on CD, but I'm glad to have this on vinyl. And now I need to get, like, I think Charlie Hungry Band I have on that same series of CDs, and I need to get that on vinyl. So I'm glad to have that. It reminds me of Bobby Ellsworth a little bit. Picked this up, I mean this is all stuff from a while ago, but these kind of all fit similar. Demolition, I'd seen this in the shop for a while and I always flipped over, I think it was a new band. And one day I picked it up and I saw the song called Hooker Hater, and I knew that was a new wave of British heavy metal song. I have it on some sort of demos or some sort of obscure CD. So I looked at it and this is new wave of British heavy metal, so I scooped it up and I'm glad I did. This is some of my favorite sounding stuff. It's primitive, simple songs. They're not great musicians. It's really rough sounding, but it's dirty new wave of British heavy metal. And I'm not gonna recommend this to everybody, but Hooker Hater and Axeman. That was probably the single, I think, which I do not have. But those 2 songs are great. But this whole record is really good. It's got a great book and everything. I think they had one of the guys was a Muslim guy, and the funny story in there, I think when he joined the band or showed up for tryouts, or when he was in the band, like one of the guys said, "Oh, I always thought he was an Italian guy. Like I never realized, like they were just kids and they weren't well versed in the world and nationality, so it's kind of funny." But it's got a bunch of live stuff on here that's really good. Just yeah, but the live stuff, it feels like this show. They were from Birmingham, and like the live stuff, it's really great shots. Couple of this shot, like a couple pages, just good photos. Whoever's in this band, I got access to some good photos. But oh yeah, this is a good one. Check out the sparse show, but all the headbanging down there. But it reminds me of like shows I've been to, or like maybe even I played, and like the shows that weren't well attended, and like there's better shows happen at the big clubs, and you're off at this club, and you feel like you're not really at like the main attraction anyway. You're just off at like this one you had to drive down the road to, and it's only a couple of your buddies there, and it's not a great band, it's not a great night, but like you're having a lot of fun. And this is the band, you know, they're never going to headline a good club. Then probably didn't have much success, but you know, if you're there with 5 of your friends and you knew the songs, you had a great time, and it's got that feeling. I think they even go into Rock Bottom by UFO a little bit, which actually, that was what I wanted to talk about. My wife bought me the Pete Way biography for Father's Day, because I'm a huge Pete Way fan. He's one of my heroes as far as musical characters, not people, because I don't really have heroes. There's too many people as heroes who I look up to, but as far as like stage presence stuff, like giant influence on me. Not that I was like a rock bass player or anything. I mean, I was a heavy metal bass player or anything, but really one of my favorites. But let me just say, this book is not good. I think Pete Way's brain is probably gone, so it's written like a 8th grade book report. There's no good stories in here, no good anecdotes. I mean, he goes through the stuff, but it's real let down. I'm like, I think you get up to page 76, and it's not packed with words, you know, it's wide margin stuff. It's like by page 76, he's already like past the peak of UFO, and it's like, he just zipped through it, and maybe there's like 2 sentences on him leaving the band. He doesn't get into in-depth in everything. I mean, there's a lot of, I had no idea how much of a drug addict he was, like the down and out days. I knew quite a bit of the story, like, quite a bit, but I didn't realize how far gone he was. And maybe if he got into more detail, if his brain even remembers, he talked about like his down and out days better or more detail, it might be an interesting book. Or if you got more in depth with the UFO and nice anecdotes and funny stories, but there's really nothing in here. If you read the other UFO book and enough interviews and the other people's stories about UFO from their biographies, there's way more stuff. This was real disappointment. Yeah, I can't even, usually I want to come up with anecdotes to tell people, you're talking to people at parties, like, oh, I read this, and this is a funny story. There's nothing in here. There's nothing. Which is a shame. I picked up this one on a whim. I think I heard this song. This is Sherwood. And I'll say this is another new wave of British heavy metal band, but it's actually like 86, I think, this was recorded in. So it's kind of not, it's kind of a band out of time. But this is, what is this called? Riding the Rainbow. But I love this. And I'm not going to recommend this too either, because it's not fantastic, but it's the stuff I love. And I'll put on just the title track. No, it's not the title track. Catch the Sunrise, because I think it's absolutely fantastic. And they have a keyboard player, which is hard to hear, but you hear the keyboard on this, and it almost sounds like a flute or a harmonica in there. It almost gives this like a Jethro Tull kind of sound. And they're proggy, definitely proggy. It might be hard to hear on this, but if you sample it, it's low in the mix, and it's like counterpointing the riff. So, but it's really interesting. But this band is funny. It's this was put out on Buried by Time and Dust, which is a great label, and they did a great package for this. Yeah, it's like Uriah Heep here. Remind me of a Gypsy or something. This song is so good, though. The rest of the album, there's a Riding the Rainbow is a good track, but everything else is a little, it's all right, proggy and stuff. Yeah, if you hear that part. So anyway, like I read about this band, this is like 86 now, but these are like, it's hard to see if I have better pictures. I think that's it. But they're like a total NWOBHM band. I'll just show you this to talk about them. And like they're a little older because this is how old you'd be in 86. They're like probably pushing 30. But 86 is too late to be doing this music unless you're in the backwoods somewhere and you're just behind the times because you're not doing a retro thing. You're just out of the loop. We're still playing Magnum covers, Uriah Heep, and our originals that sound like that. Meanwhile, you know, Master Puppets is already out, NWOBHM's already dead. But it's really cool, and I was fascinated with this band looking at them. They have a keyboard player, and the keyboard player, if you read the biography, he came from like blues bands and other bands, so I got the gist he was a little bit older. But this is the keyboard player. He's got a beard and a tie, and I'm thinking you got like the guy with the beard who doesn't want to look metal, but he's with the band, and it's like he's probably a little down for him. It's like below him to be playing with a metal band. I'm thinking, I was in bands, I played real music like blues and jazz and stuff, but I'll play with you guys. And the guys are probably thinking like, we can't get a keyboard player, there's no metalhead keyboard players in this town, and it's 1986, and so we got to settle for the guy with the beard. And if you look at the promo shot, they got the band there, and they're great. They're in vests. There's 3 of the guys are wearing vests, which I could discuss later, but the keyboard player shows up with a white, like, bathrobe thing. And, like, he's got this white bathrobe thing on, like, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, maybe that's his metal clothes, and he's just clueless. And the guys probably don't like that, because it looks stupid. And then you notice the same shot, the same photo session, he's now wearing a leather jacket. But I have a feeling that leather jacket's the singer's, and the singer brought 2 jackets. He's got like his dress jacket with the button on because he's the singer, and you look a little stylish being the front man. And he brought a leather jacket, you know, because he just wore a leather jacket, you know, and then he wanted to put on his photo shoot clothes. And he made that guy take off the bathrobe and wear the leather jacket. I know I'm going into this too much, but this is the stuff I enjoy. And he looks pretty good there, because he looks like, you know, he could be like from Blue Oyster Cult or something. But you see him show up with that bathrobe. You know these guys. These guys just working class dudes. And the wearing the vest thing, I gotta talk, the vest is a great thing. It's just a lost piece of clothing now. But I mean, a vest is great. You can just wear a dress shirt and throw a vest on. Doesn't have to be leather, you know. And I'm not talking denim sleeveless jacket, just a vest. And you're a rocker, and you're a cool rocker. I mean, you take the vest off, he's just wearing regular clothes. But you got 3 dudes with vests, and I love that. But anyway, that's Sherwood. The only thing that was really weird, all these line notes, and I read them like 3 times. It didn't once say where they're from, so I think that was they dropped the ball a little bit, buried by time and dust. But they're from Yorkshire, which is not near Sherwood, so I was thinking they were from Sherwood before I had to look it up, or near Sherwood Forest. But anyway, that's it, just to go on to that. And the other stuff, I'll let it run. These aren't the best songs, but there's some other good ones on there. But Limelight, I don't know if I showed this before. This is an original. What is this on? Future Earth Records. I don't know. Probably 1980. What do you know? Future Shot. A trio. 2 brothers, and you can see they get the same noses, and another guy. And very proggy, musicianshipy, a little Rush sounding. Obviously, Limelight. I would imagine they knew Rush, right? 1980. When did Limelight come out? I don't know. But Metal Man's a classic. That's been on a lot of comps. That's a killer metal tune. This is just a decent record. But that's that. And then the other ones aren't great, but I just wanted to show them. A Third Step I picked up within the last year. I never had this. Jess Cox, original singer from Tigers of Pantang. And I love this guy. I think he put out 2 45s. I have one of them, which was decent. I don't think I talked about this record. I hope I didn't. I had this for a while sitting in a pile. But this is like his attempt at hard rock, commercial rock. And it's kind of funny because he's not if you listen to Tigers of Pan, he's not a great singer. He doesn't have a range. And he's not a songwriter. Those early Tiger Pantang, which I don't even know who wrote the songs, but they're very simple, which makes them really great. But this one, it's just it's got some new wave keyboards in there and a couple of rockers, but not like what you'd say, oh, here's the rocker, you know, for... And there they are. This guy only had his wedding picture available. Jess is a little boy. But they're kind of all over the map. And this was on Neat Records, and I don't know if he had songs or he got some guys. I can't remember the story, but they wanted to put something out. But it's kind of, I have a feeling this album's going to grow on me because it's campy enough, but it's still good. Like his vocals are it's still Jess Cox singing these like bad songs, or you know, their attempts, they're authentic attempts at, you know, him making music. So. And the other one I got, which is kind of the same vein, I think of them together. I had this one for years, but this is Lone Wolf, which is just Brian Ross from Blitzkrieg and Satan, this like spin-off band. This is just an EP, and it's 3 songs, and it kind of fits in that nowhere category with that Jess Cox. It's not a known band, it's not a great record, and it's just 3 tracks, and it's on Neat. I'll show you just because it says Lone Wolf. And it's got 3 songs. The Nobody Move is pretty good. I think Town to Town is trying to be fast, a little bit like Blitzkrieg, but the drummer, Steve Hutchinson, he's a bad drummer, and I blame some of it on the production. Not it just sounds amateurish, almost demo-ish, but interesting piece to have. But I was looking who did the covers. Brian Ross designed this cover, and it's got 2 Brian Rosses on it, like artistically portrayed. And this is from '84, and this one's from '83. And this cover was designed by Jess Cox, and it's got 2 Jess Coxes on. And I was thinking if I ever had a solo album, I wouldn't want 2 pictures of me on that. But that's about it. I don't know how interesting this was, but just stuff I look at and think about. But cheers, and check out Rob from Boston, Panique's 1960, Andy Cloudy Milder, and Bill Helmet Diggy's channels, because those guys are great. And Mr. Furley. Cheers.